Hello everyone, welcome to the Project Veritas Wall of Shame, where the journalists' reputations go to die, where journalists have to print retractions in articles questioning our journalism ethics, hence the irony. That's why we make a big deal out of it. That's why we call it the Wall of Shame. Now, it is COVID out there. People are suffering, people are struggling, people are stuck indoors, but journalists are not stopping from printing all of the lies and retractions. Yet another retraction. Cue the Retracto theme song. So today's retraction comes from a man named Robert Marchant at the Stamford Advocate. That's in Connecticut, not too far away from where we are here in Mamaroneck, New York. This man, Robert Marchant, is a learned man with a master's in history from Columbia University. Very smart guy indeed. Now, this was involving a talk that I was scheduled to give in Connecticut April 4th to a group of Stamford, Connecticut Republicans. The chairman of the GOP town committee told Marchant that I perform a valuable service. That was very nice. But Marchant writes this piece for the Stamford Advocate, and there you have the piece right there. There it is. And in this piece, Marchant says, quote, "In 2013, he settled a California case accusing him of making a deceptively edited video that falsely depicted a man working for a social welfare agency as appearing to agree to take part in a human trafficking scheme." They will never stop talking about this lawsuit from 2009. This one lawsuit that I personally settled from 2009. They can't stop talking about it. By the way, journalists retract things and settle lawsuits all of the time. Most recently, CNN settled the Covington Kids lawsuit. That was a $250 million lawsuit. Geraldo Rivera was sued for libel. Mike Wallace was sued. 60 Minutes was sued hundreds of times. But one settlement for me personally, 11 years ago, they just won't stop talking about it, and they won't stop lying about it. So Project Veritas has never settled a lawsuit ever. In fact, Project Veritas has won 7 straight lawsuits, including defamation lawsuits, in extraordinary fashion. They'll say, but James O'Keefe settled a lawsuit, and that's true, from 11 years ago. But what was that lawsuit about? It wasn't about what the Stamford Advocate said it was about. It was actually about invasion of privacy. California statute 630 to 638. Not defamation, not lying, not this supposed quote about a California case accusing James O'Keefe of making a deceptively edited video and falsely depiction. That's not what California Penal Code Statute 630 is about. That's about recording someone without their permission. You can imagine the distinction between an immoral thing like misrepresenting someone and merely recording someone. Huge distinction, a distinction lost upon the Stamford Advocate. And again, I'm quoting the complaint, something that they probably should have done if they took journalism seriously. So this quote, a California case accusing us of making a deceptive edit, was not true. It was about invasion of privacy. Also, in the actual settlement itself, here's a copy of the settlement document. I'm going to read from it, quote, "It is fully understood and agreed by the parties that this is a settlement of disputed claim and is in no way representative of any actual or implied admissions of liability regarding to the recorded conversation." So we didn't actually admit any liability about invasion of privacy or recording in a private place without people overhearing. It was just a nuisance settlement. And by the way, they didn't tell you this entire story, so we're going to tell it for you. We asked for a retraction, and of course we get a legal letter from the counsel for Hearst Media, a man by the name of Nathaniel S. Boyer, who sends us a 4-page letter addressing our correction. Now, he actually refuses, this Nathaniel Boyer character, refuses to print a correction, but he does say, he says, for these reasons we are declined to issue a correction. He does go on, though, to do this whole diatribe about the so-called pimp costume. And again, this has nothing to do with the conversations they claim that I edited. This is about a pimp costume. He quotes Jerry Brown, then AG of California, saying, O'Keefe appeared dressed as 1970s Superfly pimp, but in his actual taped sessions with Acorn workers, he was dressed in a suit and tie. That has nothing to do with the things that the person told me and whether I misrepresented those things or not. He also says in litigation that the client, me, is by clear and convincing evidence that the knowledge was false or reckless disregard for the truth. He's trying to say that we'd have to prove actual malice and we'd have to prove that they knowingly lied. But that's a lot further than what we're saying. They just shouldn't lie at all. Whether they knowingly lied or not, they should print a correction. So this legal letter comes, pretty ridiculous letter, Mr. Nathaniel Boyer, and they refuse to print a correction, but we follow up. We follow up this week, and in fact, they did print a correction. They called it a, quote, clarification. The clarification has run online and in print and can be found here. Let's go ahead and read the clarification. The clarification states, quote, the man who was the subject of the misleadingly edited video sued O'Keefe for violating California's prohibition against surreptitious video recordings. His complaint mentioned that the video had been edited, but did not state specifically that it had been deceptively edited. Isn't that something? The video was edited, but not deceptively so. In other words, is that the sort of editing that the Stamford Advocate is doing? In their editing and their wordsmithing? See, we didn't do a deceptive edit, but they did. And now they've had to, quote, clarify that, and the, quote, clarification will live in infamy on our wall of shame. We're running out of room. There is no room. And again, we're going to have to build another wall. This is a good problem to have. But all of this could be avoided. All of it. If the journalists just did their jobs and focused on the facts. That's all I ask. Just do your job. Focus on the facts. Stick to the facts. Stop being that which you project onto me personally. You say, James, you should keep your politics out of it. There is no politics in this video. This is a video of people talking. I did not add my opinion. I did not add my conjecture. To quote the federal judge that dismissed our lawsuit in the Shirley Teeter case, I would question the ethics of a journalist who opines on the people they're talking to. And if you really had journalistic credibility, Stamford newspaper, you would have included that judge's quote in your article, but you selectively edited that out as well.